What is up, Sneeples? Pro Quest season is at our doorsteps, and I have a competitive yet budget deck for you, and that is Kano. Now, before you click away, it's okay if you're not a Kano guy because you just think it's too complex. This version is much easier. We have a gameplay footage and deck tech to break it all down. And this is a defensive Kano. You're going to be blocking a lot with this Kano. You got Sinks and Fate Foreseens in your deck, by gosh. But the other thing is that you might be thinking this is no way a budget deck. Kano has Storm Striders and Tunic. Well, I'm telling you, we're not running either of those, and this deck is still competitive. So let's get down to it. Let's look at the deck tech and then see some gameplay. All right, so let's get into it. We try to do budget decks for every season coming up so that you can play on a budget, and we try our very best to make it as competitive as possible. So here we go. We have a $100 budget on this deck. Nothing reaching too pricey other than the Arcanite Skullcap being at 18, but we do kind of need some blocks in this deck, to be honest. You're going to need some Gaze the Ages. That comes up to about $21. So those are your two big spenders. Past that, though, everything is fairly affordable. You know, you got the Aether Arcs, the Tome of Fiendals, the Aether Wildfires. And then you're looking at, like, you know, pennies after that. So that is what we're doing here with this deck. And basically, what we are looking to do is pitch stack. It is called Pitch Stack Kano for a reason. So we're not going to be playing Storm Striders. That's going to save us some money, and it's okay. I'll show a video about that right after I explain this deck. We don't necessarily need Storm Striders when we are pitch stacking. All the cards we need will be on the top of our deck when we do the pitch stack turn, and we will Kano them all out. So we don't need to have a hidden card in our arsenal or a card in our hand to kill them. No need at all. And then Arcanite Skullcap, we don't need Ragamuffin's hat. I mean, that's obviously a cheap card, but we do need blocks. So Arcanite Skullcap does allow for that. We are playing for the late game, so we need a block to survive into the late game, especially when we start at 30 health. And then Spellfire Cloak is just, when we're going to be using the resource, it's going to be on our opponent's turn. So a Tunic would be nice, but we don't need a Tunic. Metacarpus Node is to get damage over at the end game. So we actually do want Metacarpus Node. Some people do blocks, like a Ironhide Gauntlet instead of Metacarpus Node. I personally think we need the Metacarpus Node. Okay, so let's get into what this deck is. So I'm going to go over the cards that we want to see in our pitch deck. Aether Flare is one of them. Aether Flare being able to have our next spell deal more damage, is like just adding on more damage, is very good. That's why we like Aether Flare. Aether Wildfire doing that for all of our spells for that turn. So that's why we really like Aether Wildfire. And then Blazing Aether coming in, dealing damage equal to the number of damage that you've already dealt. So, as you can imagine, with these three cards, Aether Flare, Wildfire, and Blazing Aether, they can attribute to a massive amount of damage. I mean, we're talking, you know, over 100 points of damage. The Giga Stack combo can do over 700. So, it's insane how much damage these three cards can do. We'll show you exactly the power of it in gameplay footage. But yeah, basically, just with two Aether Wildfires and one Blazing Aether, we dealt over 40 damage. That's, you know, that's enough, right? So that's how powerful these cards are. So that is what we plan to do, is to have our final turn. We are going to have all of these cards as much as possible. Like I said, we only needed 3 to deal 40 plus damage. But the more, the better that we can ensure that we can like fight through stuff like Oasis and take it on chins and prevention, basically. Okay. The rest of the cards are block cards. As you can see, we have Fate Foreseen, Oasis, and Sink Below. That is pretty spicy for a Kano, but it makes sense because, as I mentioned, we are blocking to survive into the late game. So cards, these D-Reacts are going to help us out a lot to do so. Now let's get into cards that we also want in our pitch deck, which is Tome of Aetherwind and Tome of Fiendal. So Tome of Aetherwind is going to allow us to draw blues. That is what we're looking to do. So anytime that we pitch a Tome of Aetherwind, we are pitching 2 blues right beside it. Basically, this allows us to use 1 blue to use Kano's ability, which, you know, puts a card, attack, non-attack action card, like we can banish it. We use 1 blue to banish the Tome of Aetherwind. Then we play the Tome of Aetherwind to draw 2 cards, which are 2 blues. So we go up a blue in our hand, and that's what we want. We want as many blues in our hand as possible. Tome of Fiendel lets us go up 2 resources instead of 3, but it's still going up resources, so we still like it. So Tome of Fiendel is very good for that. So Aether Flares, Aether Wildfire, and Blazing Aethers are the damage spells that we want in our pitch stack. Tome of Aetherwind and Tome of Fiendel are the draw cards we want in our pitch deck so that we can be able to afford all of these cards. And so the rest of the cards are blues, with the exception of Aether Spindle as a red. Aether Spindle is basically something you can attack with if you need to pitch like a blue or 2 reds to put into your pitch stack. And it just allows you to opt and kind of adjust your pitch deck if you need it to be adjusted. It's nothing fancy, honestly. It's just okay. It's there. The rest are just blues, right? With the exception of energy potions. You want to have all 3 energy potions out on the board for the final turn so that you can afford everything, even if you have some reds in your hand. So E-pots allow that to happen. So we do like energy potions. That's really it. That's what's kind of cool about this deck, is that it essentially comes down to only a few cards. You have Red Aether Flares, Aether Wildfires, Blazing Aethers, Tome of Aetherwind, Tome of Fiendel, and energy potions. The rest is just hodgepodge that you're either going to put in between your tomes for your pitch deck, or you're just going to be blocking with. And you can also block with these cards too. They do block for 3, so they do have a good block. Like I said, you need to survive to late game, so you don't need every single Aether Wildfire in your pitch deck, but you do want at least about 2, and at least 1 to 2 Blazing Aethers, and then 0 to 3 Aether Flares. Okay, Arsenal. Not much. You have 9 cards, or you have 10, or sorry, you have 12 cards for Dromai / Prism. That's what this is. Aether Darts can help shoot a dragon or angel. If you pair that with a Crucible of Aetherweave, you can put it up to 4. That will kill just about any dragon and all of the angels. And then these are poppers that will gain you a little bit of life, and this is a popper that pitches yellow and even blocks 3. So there it is. Crazy Brew, just for the meme. I don't know what. I guess you can add 3 more poppers, but honestly, with this deck, there is going to be some bad matchups for sure. Like Viscerai can be a tough one, just because he forces you to pitch stack a little weird and maybe a suboptimal, but ultimately your toughest one's going to be the Illusionist. So that's why we have so many slots for that. And when you're pitch stacking, you have one gameplay and you're just going to stick to that gameplay. And so having something else, I guess these could be Scour. Let's make them Scour. Surely that doesn't cost a lot of money, that card. Because then at least we can go against like Viscerai. So let's do that. We'll do that real time. Around 110. Let's see if we take out these, if that helps us out. Did we hit the 100? We made it back in. We are there. The budget deck is created right here in front of you with you guys. We'll have Scours for Viscerai if they're creating all these rune chants. That's how we'll get them. Okay, there it is. Or if they cast bones us, we can destroy our tokens that way too. So there it is. The pitch deck Kano. Let's go play a game. Let's go see how this deck performs. Okay, playing with the budget deck here. It doesn't really matter if we go first or second with this deck, truthfully. We'll go second against Victor, which is a pretty good hero, very popular hero. Now, traditionally, Kano already has a very good matchup in this, but Victor will allow us to allow me to show you guys how the pitch stack actually works. Well, kind of wish we went first. This is a perfect pitch stack hand. So Victor's going to try to just do this for the most part. They're just going to attack the shit out of you, which is fine. Just go ahead and block where you can. And yeah, probably coming in with the hammer. Yeah, unfortunately, they're going to get 1 point of damage in and take 2 of our tomes away, which is actually kind of the ass on our end. But yeah. Okay, so the only card I really want on the bottom is Aether Flare, and I don't really want that. But that's okay. We're going to Kano, pitching like so. Blazing Aether, we will not banish that. We also want that on the bottom. We will Kano again, say no again. Then we'll pass, and I'm going to put these blues on top. And basically, I want them to be in my final hand, those 2 blues, and then I'm going to have the Aether Flare be the first card that I care about. So my pitch stack's out 1. Okay, so we're getting hit with this Zealous Belting. That's what they do. They come at you. We'll go again, these victors. So we'll probably take a little bit of damage here. That's okay. Now coming at us with Anathos, we'll go ahead and block that out like so. Just blocking out damage. This is a very blocky deck. And in our turn, we're going to put this Blazing Aether on the bottom with using Crucible. And now we are at 2 cards as our pitch stat. Now here's an Aether Wildfire. We can go ahead and make that our 3rd, but now we need a tome to follow. So we can make this Aether Wildfire our 3rd. I'm totally fine with that. Okay, we do have a Fate Foreseen in the arsenal, but I kind of want to keep it in the arsenal. Actually, I want to use the Fate Foreseen, because what Victor likes to do is he likes to have pummels. And so I want to, yeah, so that's what's going to happen here. He's going to pummel me, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to Fate Foreseen. Actually, sorry, we're going to undo. We're going to request undo. We'll see if he allows us. Okay, he allows us. That was very cool of him. We're going to first Oasis. We're going to Oasis because now we have the Aether Wildfire that will be put on the bottom for us. And now we're going to Fate Foreseen. We can keep that on top. We do not want that to be part of our pitch stat. We are going to take 3, but we will not be discarding a card or losing our arsenal. So that all that's okay. And now we are at 3 for our pitch stack. So now we need a tome. There it is. We got our tome. Okay, so we're going to put this tome on the bottom one way or the other. We're going to go ahead and block like so. And then, yeah, unfortunately, I cannot keep that card. So I do have to just block like so. All right, but we blocked the 9 there. On our turn, we will go ahead and Crucible. Put this tome on the bottom. Now we are at 4, and now what we want is to follow it with 2 blues. I do want this Aether Wildfire as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it though. We'll see. We'll block here. And coming in with the hammer next for 4. I'll take the 4. The reason is I already blocked with 1 Aether Wildfire. I don't want to block with too many. I'm going to need with those to kill this Victor. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go Kano, Energy Potion, play that. That feels great. Then we're going to go ahead and Kano again. Sink below, that's okay. So we need those 2 blues to follow that tome. And now we have a Aether Wildfire. So now our pitch count is 7. And we can add another tome to it, which is awesome. That's exactly what we want. So we're going to go ahead and block. And then, yeah, we're going to block like so. We're going to sink in the tome. So now we're at 8. And then I think that's fine. We'll take 2. Okay. Now we are going to put another tome by this first tome. I think that'll be fine. And then that's it. So now we will Fate Foreseen in the arsenal. So now we need like 4 blues, basically. Okay, well, this is something I was a little bit worried about, to be honest with you. Yeah, Yeah, we could just get pummeled here, unfortunately. Yep, and that's what happens. Okay, well. Sometimes that's just how it goes. So he really gets 2 fucking D-reacts from us. Ugh, gross. Unfortunate for us. We still need 4 blues. We're at 9 for our pitch count. Unfortunately, we had an E-pod too. I mean, I guess that's fortunate. I don't know what to say. All right. Rouse the Ancients. Feeling 2 blue attacks, which, yeah, you can definitely undo. I get it. Okay, so Tear Asunder. Luckily, we have an Oasis, so we might be able to get out of this. Just kidding. There's no way. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and block here. And here. I guess, does that make sense? No, that doesn't really make sense. We should be blocking here. Sinking this. I want to block. Can I block this out? Is that even possible? 4, 6, 8, 12? I guess it is possible. Okay. We'll block like so. We'll pay the 1. Pay in here. Alright, so that's 1 blue for us. And then we will sink. Another blue. No sinking. Or not another blue, sorry, it's another block. And then we will Oasis. And we fully blocked it. In fact, I should have blocked with the Lesson Lava, because then I could have put the sink in here, since that would have been for 11 exactly. But I didn't, and now I will deal with my mistakes. So anyways, our pitch stack's at 10 now. We need 3 more blues. We have to skip our arsenal. I think we will have to block with the blazing more than likely. Okay, well, maybe not. I guess we'll just block here, take 5. Not much else we can do about that. Alright, let's go ahead and Kano. Put another blue on the bottom. Aether Flare. Let's go ahead and banish that just to get it out of the deck. I guess we could play it. So we have 2 blues. Sure, we'll play the Aether Flare, banishing the Blazing Aether. Alright, not gonna pay 1. So this will put us at 12. Alright, blocks a little bit of that. And then we will arsenal our Fate first scene. So we're going to put the blue first and then blazing. Now we are at 12. Alright, Command and Conquer. Classic. And if we get pummeled... I'm sorry. I shouldn't be so vulgar, but... yeah, I think I need 2 blues. So unfortunately, I think I need block like so. Please don't have a pummel. Oh, thank goodness. That would just suck. Okay, well, that's 2 Command and Conquers. 2 pummels already, too. Okay. So now what we're going to do is Kano. Waiting on him. Maybe it's us. Nope. Waiting on him. Okay, Mirror Scolding. We will banish that. We're just getting it out of the deck, basically. And then we'll Kano again. Gaze the Ages. We will banish this. And we'll even play Gaze. Just to have ourselves a peek on what is coming up. 2 blues. We're already going to put 2 blues on the bottom, so we don't need these to be on the bottom. So we'll just keep them on top. And then we will pass the turn. So now, we're at 14. Alright. Now we have enough blues for our tomes. Or really, we can play anything at this point. So, none of these cards we want to put into our pitch stack, so we're just going to be blocking right now. Very good. Come to ask for a big ass 10. which I think we'll just do like this and take 4. We could block for a full 10, but I kind of want to be reserving on our... Okay, on our favorite team. Tome of Aether Wind, we're going to try to put down the bottom, ideally with 2 blues. We'll see how that goes. Alright, out Muscle. That's going to have to go again. Can't stop that from having go again. We'll block here. We're getting close to our pitch stack, by the way. Alright, and then here is an Anathos. We'll block with one of these blues. We'll take 3. Okay. Now we will do Crucible for the tome, and then we'll pass. And now we're at 15, which means that yeah, so 2 cards until we get our pitch stack. So we need to survive. Well, that's one thing, which we can do. We can definitely survive this turn. But we also need to use as minimal cards as possible. So I think what we'll do here is we will Fate First Scene this one. We're going to have to keep it on top. More than likely. Because we... Okay. Okay, well, so that's the last pummel. Okay, so now I gotta think about this. So if we're getting pummeled, we're gonna lose a card. I think we need to keep this on top. Okay. Yeah, I cannot stop that. Dealing 7 to me. Let's do this. I was going to try to play E-Pot on our turn, but I don't think we're going to be able to. And we'll Oasis. He just swings with hammer and we die? Yeah, seems like it. Okay. So I have to block like this just to stay alive. So what this means is we're actually going to draw one of the cards, which is a tome, I believe. That's not good. Okay, so I can't remember if we started with tome or not. We're going to play this, and now we hit our pitch deck. We hit some of our pitch deck already. We're just gonna go do our pitch deck now, because this is what we have to work with. So that is, I think we'll still have enough damage. Tome of Fiendel. Go ahead and play this tome. We'll pitch here. All right, and then we will pitch Aether Wildfire. There should be another tome. But I think there's another tome after this. So we're actually going to use our E-Pot here to Kano one more time. Yep, there's our other tome. Then we're going to use this tome to draw 2 cards. Okay, and then we're going to Kano. That's a Blazing Aether. And then we're going to now play this tome, because I remember there's a Blazing Aether between the tomes. So just went a little too fast for it, I guess. Draw 2 cards. And then this is a Tome of Aetherwind, which we obviously can't use to draw 2 cards, but we can use it to pump up an attack. So we're actually going to do that because we actually have a lot of resources here. So we're going to banish this Tome of Aetherwind. We're going to play it. buff arcane, buff arcane. All right, and now we'll come in with our first Aether Wildfire. Let's go ahead and get the E-pods out of the way here. Crucible, pump that one up. Now we will Aether Wildfire. We'll go ahead, we have the resources, so we're gonna pay for the Metacarpus. Now we'll come in with this one. We'll pay for the Metacarpus. And now we'll come in with this one. We'll pay for the Metacarpus. And that should be enough damage. There it is. 44 points of damage just from 3 Aether Wildfire and a Blazing Aether. He's being a good sport about everything. That's cool. Yeah, so that worked out. That is the combo. So what we had there was we had a pitch stack of 15 cards. Now, unfortunately for us, because of his pummel, we had to discard too many cards and drew into our pitch stack. And that's just how that happened. But luckily, we had just enough cards to get the kill. 2 Aether Wildfires and a Blazing Aether, that will get the kill. So that is what we're looking to do. Just getting these pitch stacks. 44 damage is enough damage to kill somebody. Now, if he had an Oasis there, we do lose. We do not win that. However, if he has an Oasis, but we didn't draw into our pitch stack, so we had the pitch stack and we didn't draw into it, we would have had an Aether Flare and another Blazing Aether as a part of that stack. And with that, we could still get around Oasis. So that is why this deck is very, very good. Even if your opponent is doing that. So that is a bit of how to pitch stack, what you're trying to do, and just to show you that, yeah, this budget deck can do it. This budget deck has what it needs to succeed. So thanks for watching, guys, and I wish you guys the best of luck. Now I just want to give a special shout out to our Patreons, which is listed here. Thank you guys so much. I will give out the non-budget version. If you're interested in that, you can go and find that deck list. And then I'll even give out a video doing some tips and tricks for you guys. So thank you so much for being a patron. If you want to be a patron, anyone can be a patron. Go ahead and check out our Patreon with a link right here. So thanks, guys. Keep on fatting.